Hey, it's Nneka the Nutritionist. I'm here with Stuck in the Middle podcast. We just recorded a dope episode. Check it out. We talked about healthy lifestyles, plant-based nutrition, how to bring your passions to serve your communities. It's a dope episode. You'll love it. Check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode, Stuck in the Middle podcast.
I'm one of your hosts, AK.
I'm Reflex, man. AK, how's your week been, bruh? You look. First of all, man, you come up in the Washington Redskins home dressed like a freaking Dallas Cowboy. What's up with you, man? The disrespect.
Hey, man, listen. The hat looks good.
I don't like the hat.
Does it look good, though?
I don't like the hat.
Okay.
It looks hideous.
It looks hideous?
Yes.
What you going to do, fam?
I'm going to fight you after this podcast.
How's your
Literally,
week,
man. My skins is getting dogged right now by the Minnesota Vikings. You come up in here adding salt to injury.
I don't care about football, man.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Forget you then. Nah, my week been all right, man. My week been all right. I like them kicks. Okay. I like them kicks. My week been all right, though. My week been all right, though, man. Shout out to everybody who's been showing love to my new video, Temptation.
Yeah, man. Y'all was listening to Temptation by Reflex, by the way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. 20,000 views on Facebook and counting, a stack on YouTube. Keep sharing that. Keep watching, man. How about you? How's your week been?
Man, my week been good, man. You know, just trying to fight this procrastination lifestyle, man. It's crazy, fam, but I'm getting there.
Yes, sir.
I'm getting there. Yeah.
I hear that, man. But yeah, we ain't procrastinate on this week's guest.
Now, before we introduce this week's guest, shout out to Ty and Hustle Hard Global.
Yes, sir.
I heard it put on a great show yesterday. How was it, by the way?
Now the show was dope. The event, I should say, was dope. Hustle Hard Global, Hoop for Hope. They had a basketball tournament, celebrity basketball tournament, putting together, supplies for Kenya. We've had Ty on the podcast.
Yeah.
She's talked about it. If you haven't listened or watched that episode, go check it out. And it was great. I had a chance to perform too, man. Met some dope people after. It was great. It was great. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Sir.
But yeah, man.
Yeah, shout out to Ty, though.
Yeah, shout out to Ty, man, and everybody who had a hand, to make that event, be glorious and stuff. But hey, today.
Yes, sir.
You feeling good about this episode, fam?
I feel like, after this episode, it's gonna be like one of those like those things where when people watch the What the Health, Fork and Knife and all them documentaries, you start be like, dang, I'm about to just breathe and drink water and just go to sleep. I'm not eating nothing.
But you're trying to gain weight though, so
I'm trying to gain weight. So yeah, our guest is gonna help me just do just that. Yeah. Right, I'm excited, man. Let them know who we got in the building today.
Hey, yo, man. Hey, today in the building we have a plant-based nutrition educator working in urban areas to inspire, educate, and empower people to make healthier lifestyle choices. Ladies and gentlemen, please help us welcome Nneka Schultz, a.k.a. Nick the Nutritionist, a.k.a. Nick, to Stuck in the Middle podcast.
Hey.
Thank you so much.
Nick, welcome to the podcast, yo.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here with you all.
Hey, it's been...
Before we went on, I was like... Nneka or Nneka. How do you pronounce it? How would your parents pronounce it when they're mad?
Okay, so my parents don't agree on how you pronounce my name. For most of my life, I went by Nneka, and my mom calls me Nneka, but my dad calls me Nneka. I meet, it's a Nigerian name, so I meet Nigerians, and they ask me if I know where my name is from. Yeah. Do I know what it means? Am I Igbo? Yeah. And they pronounce it as Nneka. So I answer to all of the above.
I'm gonna go with Nneka.
Yeah.
Nneka.
Yeah.
Show is just like, yeah, okay. She's not African.
She's not one of us.
She other.
It's unique.
Have you been to Nigeria?
No, I've never been.
Do you aspire to be?
Oh yeah, definitely.
What's stopping you?
Definitely. Well, I'm just now really getting to a point. Yeah, I'm just now getting to a point where I've been traveling. I have some trips coming up that I'm really excited about. So, yeah, definitely.
Work related?
Definitely. Oh no, this is all play.
Oh, this is all okay. Okay.
We're gonna get to that. This
is all play.
But for those who are listening right now, and they're like, who's Nick? I mean, who's Nick the Nutritionist? Like, please help us, introduce yourself to, our fellow listeners.
Okay, well, you gave a great description of what I do. I'm a plant-based nutrition educator. So I'm from Maryland. I'm from PG County. I grew up in PG County, and I went to Morgan State University in Baltimore.
Shout out to Morgan State.
Hey, Morgan State, go Bears.
Yes, sir. Hey.
So, I studied health education at Morgan State, and I kind of got my start doing HIV and AIDS, safe sex education in the community, and I've also done some home safety work with Johns Hopkins, some different projects they were working on. But that whole time I was kind of evolving my own diet and trying to be healthier. And I realized that there was really a passion for me, and I wanted to help other people make better choices, because I think nutrition is one of the main things that separates, the rich and the poor, the have-nots in this country. The diet, the food that's available to you in your communities, the food that we eat as part of our cultures. And I think a lot of people in my community are lacking in that information and access that's available to them. So
That's facts.
Yeah, so that's my job. That's what I do. I take this education and I take the food into the areas that don't usually receive it.
Yeah. Just for, those who are watching, by the way, and like, what gives her, what qualifications does she have for this? You know what I mean? She has a bachelor in community health education from Morgan State University and a master's in community nutrition education from Maryland University of Integrative Health. You know, you thought, in nutrition in Baltimore area, drug treatment facilities, Head Start programs, transitional houses, schools, and churches.
Yeah.
When did you really realize that, you wanted to be a nutritionist?
Mm-hmm.
I realized that I wanted to work with food maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. And, I started trying to move my career in that direction. But I was realizing that I didn't have the qualifications to do the work that I was really passionate to do. Mm-hmm. So I realized that I had to take a step back. I needed to go back to school, and I needed to make sure I had the credentials to present the information and to work in the field that I wanted to do. So that's what I did. I studied nutrition at Maryland University of Integrative Health. And from there, opportunities just kept coming my way. People invited me here and there to do cooking demonstrations and to do presentations and to teach classes. So work just kept coming my way, and I realized that I needed to build some structure and some organization around it. Mm-hmm. So that's what pushed me to, start my business and to just really be official.
So when I think, when I hear of nutritionists, right, I think of dietitians. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, is there a difference? What's the difference? So could you please help us break that down?
So yeah, this is controversial. It's really controversial. So my opinion and what the difference is that dietitians kind of follow the USDA outline. It used to be the food pyramid. Mm-hmm. Now they have the My Plate structure. And it's pretty much, that's the organization that tells you, to eat 12 servings of grains a day, like bread and things like that. A couple servings of meat and low-fat dairy and things like that. And in my opinion, these are the things in the diet that are feeding disease, that is keeping people sick. And so nutritionist, or a holistic nutritionist that I am, so we look at the quality of foods, and how they can build your body. So we're not just going to tell you to, eat this dairy and eat these refined grains. We're going to tell you to look at the quality of your food, to see how it's going to build your body, to see how it is reacting with different things in your body. I just think we take a more holistic approach to nutrition as opposed to dietitians.
So like you said, it's controversial, you know what I mean? Like why not to put, add more to the controversy, but which is better?
Which is better?
Yeah.
I'd say they both have their pros.
Because we, we try to be healthy, what I mean? Like, so like, I'm not,
they really work,
of course.
So most nutritionists and dietitians work in like different fields. So dietitian will work like with hospitals, at clinics, and in really like in the medical area. And so I'm a nutritionist, and to me, my what I want to do is I want to be in the community, specifically the hood. That's what that's what
Why
I
the
love.
hood though?
Why the hood? Because we need it, and those are my people.
I've heard you say were you raised in the hood?
I wasn't raised in the hood, but I live close to I live in Baltimore.
You
so
mentioned
everywhere is close to it.
You mentioned, I'm hood as a kid, you know what I'm saying?
Hey,
like,
it's around the corner. If you don't live in it, it's around
for
the
real.
corner.
Speaking of hoods, like, what I'm saying, just digging up on you. You mentioned like, desert food areas. Like, what is that?
A food desert.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a food desert is an area that the residents who live in that area, they don't have a grocery store within a certain mile. I think it's like a half a mile. They don't have a grocery store. There's lack of, so if there's no grocery store, then that means the only options available for the people to eat are corner stores, like carry-outs, fast food restaurants. There are more liquor stores than food options in these areas. And residents don't have access to transportation to get to the grocery stores. Yeah.
So what would see you, person like you living in those areas, do to help the community?
So what I do is I bring food in. I do a lot of cooking demonstrations. So I'll make the healthy food and bring it directly to these communities so they can sample it and just kind of know what a healthy meal looks like, what it tastes like, what you should look for. And I also spread education because there are a lot of resources available. I know specifically the resources in Baltimore best, but I also educate people about the resources that are available to you to buy groceries, produce at a discounted rate, to learn how to grow your own, and just other places where you can go to get a healthy meal.
Yeah. Say, teach me how to fish, don't give me a fish.
Absolutely.
Right. I like that.
How long you been doing this?
So I've been doing this work officially for about a year and a half now.
For you, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What are the benefits?
Yeah. The benefits of this work?
Yeah.
Well, I get to do what I'm passionate about.
Yeah. You're not working a day.
Yeah, so when you work in something that you're passionate about, it's not work to you. It feeds your soul.
That's true.
And I just try to be in that lane as much as I can to do the things I'm passionate about because you do the most change in the world. You know, I'm about making the world a better place, helping my community.
Let's hear some examples. I'm sure every day for you, like you speaking, it's like, you're enjoying it. It's like one day where it's like, this is rewarding testimonial for real.
Every day. So this has been my side hustle. You know, you got to fake it till you make it. So this has been my side hustle.
Sure.
I still have
what's
a 9
your
to 5.
hustle?
Yeah, I still got a 9 to 5. Well, good news. I had a 9 to 5.
Oh, okay.
I had a 9 to 5. Updates to come. I had a 9 to 5. And, and I work down in this area in PG County, and I live in Baltimore. So, and I've been doing that job for the past 7 years. So for the past 7 years, I've been commuting an hour each way. And then, so all this work that you see me doing on my Instagram, on my Facebook, on my website, all this work I do after work, you know?
Wow.
So I have to make the hour commute home and, fix a recipe to take to a class and go teach a class and then bring everything home and then wash all the dishes and then get up and go to work the next day, So it's like always, I'm tired. It's a lot of work. I need to go grocery shop every week or every other day, to do the work that I do. And it takes a lot out of you. And I may not feel like doing something or making that drive or going to teach, but I know it's my lane and I know this is my life's purpose because as soon as I get there, as soon as it's time for me to go on, it just changes. You know how like Beyonce talks about when she gets on stage just something switches and it goes to like autopilot. And that's just how it is. I know this is my lane and it energizes me.
You know what I'm saying? Like it
feeds me.
Exactly. That's where my question is going. It feeds you and everything. But you know what I'm saying? Like where's the bag? Like you got to pay the bills.
Oh, I mean, of course, that's a benefit. It's lucrative.
Okay.
And, when you have a good business, I know that this is my lane because it works well and I make some money from it. So, and if you make money from doing your passions, it's even better.
Yeah.
It's
sky's
even
the
better.
limit with that.
It's even better.
Yeah.
So keep the opportunities coming.
Man.
What is your daily or weekly, meal plan like,
personally?
So personally, this is something that I'm working on to do better because, like I said, I'm a busy person. And when I teach my classes, I tell people, like, I get it. Because I'm fortunate enough that where I work, we have a cafeteria and I'm able to find some pretty healthy choices there. Not everything is, but I can find something pretty healthy to put together to myself.
So you don't meal
But for
prep?
myself, as somebody who cooks so much for other people, cooking for myself, it's work. When I get home to my kitchen, I just want to relax. So, I'm working on that and, I'm going to have a lot more time on my hands to invest in myself into meal plan and things like that. But yeah.
So what do you have for breakfast?
What do I have for breakfast? I like having oatmeal. I'll have a boiled egg, fruit. I like to include fruit in my breakfast. I don't use sweeteners in my oatmeal other than honey. I started using some honey sometimes. I like that. It's, warm. So you want that warm breakfast now. But I like using dry fruit and dried coconuts in my oatmeal. Other than that, I'll have like a boiled egg and a piece of fruit.
Do you eat the yolk?
The yolk?
Yeah.
The yolk is beneficial. The yolk is good for you.
Yikes.
Yeah, it was
It
stinking
has
breath the
some
whole day.
A lot of people want the egg whites, and that's usually for cholesterol reasons. But if you don't have an issue with cholesterol, then I eat the yolk.
So what do you have for lunch?
Lunch, I like having a veggie sandwich. From the salad, we have like a Subway type thing at my job. So I do like a sandwich, just give me all the veggies, or I'll do like a salad.
And dinner.
Sometimes they'll have something like spaghetti or something. I'll just get it with I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat meat. So I'll just do the tomato sauce on it or something. Or if they have a stir fry or something like that. No meat.
No shrimp.
No seafood.
No seafood.
Why are you a vegetarian?
I'm going to stay out of that.
Why are you a vegetarian?
Well, I started doing research about the diets that are healthiest for people. And I'm just very much that type of person where if they say, don't do this or it'll cause cancer, I'm like, okay, got it. Okay, what else you want me to do? Exercise 5 days a week. Like, okay, got it. What else you want me to do? So I started learning that the more meat you consume, the higher you increase your risk for diabetes, for cancer, for heart disease, all these things. And I don't want that.
Just meat?
Well, it contributes. The less you eat, the lower your risk for it. So I said, okay, easy. I won't eat meat, and I didn't do it drastically, overnight.
Tapered.
Yeah, I did. So I started with like beef and pork. So I cut out maybe like 10 years ago. And then maybe like 3 years later, I cut out chicken, turkey, poultry. And I just ate seafood for maybe like 5 years. And it's just been like maybe 3 or 4 years now that I don't eat any meat at all. So I did it in steps.
See, I cannot.
And dairy.
I cannot have food without meat. It's impossible.
So
what's
the alternative? What's the alternative for that? Without going to like the fake virgin burgers and all that stuff.
Yeah. I don't advocate for those because I still say it's processed food. It's junk food.
It doesn't even taste right.
Yeah. For some people, it doesn't. Yeah. But I would just, let you watch some of those documentaries. Get scared straight. Yeah, get scared straight because a lot of people may think like that. And I used to say the same thing about like cheese, like I love cheese, but I let it go and I don't miss it. But you just have to do the cost benefit analysis of it, like what are my risks for eating this meat? What are my risks and what are the benefits that I can achieve if I
watch all those movies and it still didn't move me.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, y'all gonna kill the cow like that? Fine. I'm still going.
So what about the health part? Okay, not the animal part, but what about the health part?
Well, we all gonna die someday, right?
Okay.
So,
yeah. But you see the people getting their leg. It's drastic, situations. But when people have to get their legs amputated and can't get around and can't breathe or walk up the steps, it's the quality of life. Yeah, we all gotta die sometime, but we all don't have to struggle while we're alive.
Yeah, like when you catch diabetes.
Yeah,
and
that's
like,
facts.
Yeah,
that's facts.
Yeah.
See, I'm in a position now, and I just started doing this January of this year. Where I'm moving more and more to seafood, not even for health reasons, just because meat is just getting. I'm just getting tired of meat.
Listen to your body.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, your body is wise. Listen to it.
So if you consume a lot of meat, what's the signal it's sending to you? Like, what signal is it sending to your body?
Just feeling heavy. Feeling bloated, not having regular digestion, like if you're not going to the bathroom at least once a day. And that's the minimum, it should be, every meal you have, you should go to the bathroom. So signs like that, if you're not going to the bathroom often enough, that you need more fiber, which is plant food. You need more plants in your diet.
Yeah. For a person, I wanna garner some, knowledge out of you first before sorry, viewers and listeners, I'm a bit selfish. I'm trying to gain weight. Help me out.
Okay. So so high fiber foods will be good for you. You can, bulk up things. Do you do things like smoothies? So stuff that you can add to your smoothies is healthy fats like coconut milk. You can cook your foods with coconut milk or make stews with them or add them to your smoothies. You can add things like oatmeal and peanut butter to bulk up the calories and the protein to help build muscle. You can add things like avocados. So healthy fats, nuts are good, things that are very calorie dense.
First off, you don't got a wife. So I don't know how you're going to cook all this stuff.
Man, that one is coming later, I beg. I want to do it as bachelor so I can look healthy for wife. When she see me, she will just be like, healthy baba.
Hey, that's so.
When somebody hears plant, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, finish.
When somebody hears plant-based, you know what I'm saying, I automatically think, plant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like celery, collard greens.
Sticks and leaves.
You know what I mean? How, is that what is, or what is plant-based diet?
So you made a great point earlier when you said not the fake stuff, like the veggie burgers and the fake bacon and the fake. So, that stuff may be made out of plants, but it's still processed. So what I mean when I say plant-based diet is eating food that looks similar to how it's grown, that has not been heavily processed. So that's all the vegetables. Those are the beans, legumes, leafy greens, broccoli, beans. I feel like I said beans a lot of times. I love beans. So I eat a lot of beans.
Hold on. I was actually, I had a debate at my job, right? This girl said beans is a vegetable. I said, no, it's protein. She said, no, it's a vegetable. She said, look it up. I was like, I don't got time for that. But since you're here, you know what I mean? What is beans? Like, is it
you're both
protein
right.
or?
Yeah. So beans are a vegetable with the power of meat. It's a very dense protein source too. Yeah.
I'm going to take it a step further. I heard a nutritionist recently said beans is not healthy.
Oh, I think they are. Why wouldn't they be? Why aren't they?
How are they healthy? I mean, you just answered, yeah.
Yeah, so they have no cholesterol. They have no fat. They're high in fiber. Yeah, these are good things. Good building blocks for your body and high in protein. Very inexpensive. Like beans are some of the cheapest foods that you can buy. Like I know a lot of people in the Black community, that's what their parents and grandparents would do, put on a pot of beans, and that's what you would eat for the whole week because it's very inexpensive and it stretches. You can feed a whole family for very little money.
That's true. You're an instructor through Johns Hopkins, health, faith, and food program. And, you taught your audience the traditional ways of eating through African heritage. What is that? What is the African heritage?
So that just pretty much means the way that our ancestors in the continent ate before, we came to this country. So if you heard of soul food in this country, that's pretty much the heritage of Black Americans, right, in this country. Very high fat, a lot of high sodium meals, the macaroni and cheese. Thanksgiving's coming up, so this is what a lot of people are looking forward to. The sweet potatoes with all the sugar in it, and then the marshmallows on top. It's just, a lot of fried food, the fried chicken, the fried pork chop. And these are the foods that really, the potato salads with all the mayonnaise and stuff.
Right.
So these are the foods that lead to a lot of the health problems in our communities. Black Americans are at higher risk for just about all the chronic illnesses. And I think it's heavily attributed to our diet and our lifestyle, which is our culture around food. So what we do with the Faith and Food program with the Johns Hopkins Office of Community Health is we use the African Heritage Diet Pyramid to teach our classes the way our ancestors used to eat because they didn't have these health problems that we have today. So that's a plant-based curriculum. So it's just reintroducing people to the flavors, the using spices, African-inspired spices to season your food instead of relying so heavily on salt, and just using whole foods like whole grains, beans and rice, vegetables, fruits, leafy greens. So those are the topics of each class.
Yeah. Shout out to Ali Mufor of iHeart Health Expo. We had on the show. If you haven't listened to that, episode, you could check it out. Both of you was based in Baltimore, and you two, you big advocates for heart disease and anything health in the Baltimore area, right? Do you plan on actually going outside of the Baltimore area, and why are you guys so heavily invested in the Baltimore area?
Do I plan on going outside of the Baltimore area? I plan on going to any area that I'm invited to. You know, I'm really just open to this path that's being laid out in front of me, and I try to be obedient to all the opportunities that are coming my way and all the purpose that's been put on my life to spread this message and to educate people to be healthier. So yes, definitely, I dream big.
So you mentioned earlier you go in somebody's house, invite and you cook, and you train and like, hey, this is how to eat healthy and how not to eat healthy. But as far as like as a community, how can we, like you mentioned, desert food areas, how can we begin to change those things?
I just feel like each
because
person,
it's easier to touch, saying family, and as a society in whole. Where can we help?
I just feel like each person has to do their part, and I don't have the grand answer to how to fix this problem, but I know how to do my part. And my part, like you said, is to be hands-on, to teach people and to do these classes that I do. And I teach several different types of classes and do presentations and farmers markets and all types of things to reach different crowds. But one thing that's a consistent message that I give anybody I'm talking to is, don't keep this information to yourself. Tell somebody you love, because we all know somebody who has diabetes, who is obese, who has high blood pressure or heart disease, and we don't want this to keep destroying our families. So tell somebody you love, especially the youth. Teach the children how to make healthier choices, because, we know when we get older, it's harder to break these habits that we've developed over our whole lives. But a child, it'll be easier for them to make a switch because it's not as ingrained in them.
Financially, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you get, just going to Whole Foods or like Trader Joe's, it's like, if I go to Giant, it's going to be $3.99. If I go to Whole Foods, it's $5.99. Like, how do we,
Yeah. Some of these stores are overpriced, but the thing is, I only shop from these stores for things that I can't find other places, right? So I do most of my shopping at Safeway, but like I said, I don't eat meat. So those are some of the most expensive items that you'll purchase in the grocery store. But the vegetables are pretty cheap. The beans are pretty cheap. And that's what I like to do, is shop the perimeter of the grocery store, because everything in the middle is pretty much processed, right? For the most part. But the vegetables, the bread, the grains, those are some of the cheapest things that you can find in the grocery store. And we have grocery stores like Aldi who have tons of organic items that you can choose from. A lot of healthy options too, that are already at discounted prices. So yeah, you can shop things like farmers markets, and a lot of farmers markets accept EBT and food assistance cards, and they'll even match you to give you double your dollars just for shopping there. So yeah.
What are the best vegetables to eat?
So the most nutrient dense vegetable that there is a leafy green called watercress. So I always tell my classes, if you can find some watercress or ever see it on your food, definitely eat that. It's the most nutrient dense thing.
I ain't never heard of no watercress.
Yeah, it's a leafy green.
I look that up.
Yeah, watercress. So
you can find that in like any grocery store?
I'm not sure about any grocery store. You may have to go to like a more, Whole Foods.
Why is it
Wegmans
the most healthy?
And how do you eat it?
So you can eat it raw. You can put it in a soup or something. Put it in a smoothie. That's what I've done for it. It's just, it grows that way. It has the most nutrients of any vegetable. Watercress.
You help you gain weight?
Probably not. Probably not.
I don't want to get fat though, you know what I'm saying? I just want to look.
So tell us, what's your best teaching experience? And what made you enjoy it so much?
Okay. So this has been a journey for me, because I'm a very shy person. And I realized that this was my calling to, be in front of crowds and to talk to people. But it scared me to death. And I really just had to get over that by keep exposing myself to it, keep putting myself out there, accepting the opportunities that really do frighten me. So one thing that I do or used to do when I had presentations, I used to make sure that I had really good notes to refer to and like write out every single word that I was gonna say, just so I wouldn't feel awkward or wouldn't feel shy, or to know what I would be talking about. So recently I was invited to do a presentation at my alma mater, Morgan State, and Hey, go Bears. So, I don't know if I just was running out of time this day, but I didn't have time to sit down and make my notes. But by this time, I've been doing my presentations pretty consistently. And so this was the first presentation I did where I didn't have any notes, and it went so awesome.
Oh, shoot.
It went so awesome. So it just really taught me that I can just, go off the dome and, and just talk about the things that I'm passionate about. And I got some feedback after that presentation. And, the crowd just really said that they felt my passion and could just really see that I was very knowledgeable and, knew what I was talking about. So that was just great feedback on top of a great experience. So, that's in my books now. It's the best presentation I've done. And it was at my alma mater, giving back to my university, who has given me so much. Yeah.
How do you keep current, on the changes, with science and nutrition?
Yeah, so that's something that research is coming out all the time. So I do a lot of reading. I have some websites and some nutritionists that I follow that I really trust their opinions. So if ever I'm confused about something or just want some clarification, I have a couple websites that I'll go to that I really trust and just read up and study.
What's the most interesting piece you've read recently?
Yeah, like what are some trends and like how culture, society is shifting that you think is troubling or you think is good?
Well, one thing that I really think is good is these documentaries that are coming out, like most recently, What the Health, and how so many people are seeing and sharing the information with their friends. And it's inspiring people to make some changes. And so a lot of people try to make changes overnight and run into some mistakes, choose some of those quick convenience foods like the fake meats and stuff like that and think that they're making healthier choices when, you can do a little bit better than that. But I just seeing that trend, seeing that people are more concerned about their nutrition and what they're eating and learning about just how to eat healthier and how to decrease the amount of animal products you eat. And that's making me very happy.
Should we just take because it's a documentary on Netflix, should we just say everything in there? I mean, I'm sure you watched them. Is there anything that you're critical about as a nutritionist
definitely.
as well?
You always have to take a critical eye, even outside of being a nutritionist, just being a media consumer. You never just want to take anybody's word. So I always read. Anytime I consume something, I listen to podcasts about it. I look up YouTube videos, that's just my personality. Like I always want to know more. Like what else are people saying about this? What didn't I catch that, I just want to read somebody else's opinion about. So I don't take every single thing that they say, but I always just say if something resonates with you, take that and leave everything else, Yeah. So there are some points to that documentary that I am critical about, and I don't sing its praises, but I think it does do a good job of laying out the case for why plant-based diets are healthier. So that's the message that I want people to take.
You just answered my question.
Bam.
Stamp. What's gonna be on your Thanksgiving table?
So Thanksgiving this year is gonna be a bit different. I'm actually gonna be spending my Thanksgiving with a friend, so I have no idea what they're having. But usually, when I'm at home, so my mom does this whole typical, Black family Thanksgiving.
Have you influenced your family like?
Yeah, a little. There, my dad, he's a tough one to break. He's a tough one to break.
Always are.
Yeah, you know how y'all are.
You know what?
Y'all know how y'all are. So he's a tough one to break. But so one thing, my mom, she makes the pot of greens. She used to use the ham hocks, but she moved to the smoked turkey necks and stuff now. And so she used to just make the family pot of greens and just put me like some greens and some water. And they were the saddest little greens. And she's serving to me. I'm just like, there's no love in my greens, Ma. So I had to tell him, like, Ma, like you didn't put any love in my greens. So what she started doing is that she would make all the greens together, right? And then at the very end, she would scoop mine out and then put the meat in the rest of them. So, my greens got the love too. So she just started doing some things like that. And she'll like bake me a sweet potato and make me some black eyed peas. So I have like very simple meals, nothing spectacular, but I still get to sit and eat with my family. But one year my mom, I guess she forgot to get the meat for everybody else. So she just ended up having a whole pot of the greens without the meat.
Oh, shoot.
And my dad, that time he was like, yeah, I guess they're not that bad without the meat. So things like that, I'm like, aha, I told you, we can do this every once in a while, or, one side dish without any meat in it. So, yeah, I'm glad they got to see that.
Man.
That was a happy mistake.
What are the most important skills or traits, right, of a nutritionist? I mean, like, what, to you, right, what does a nutritionist, like, possess that makes them, a nutritionist, I guess?
Like, if somebody wants to do this, they're watching, like, I love what you're doing. There's bag in it and there's passion in it. What does it take?
So what you just said, passion, you have to be passionate about it because you work with people and so many different types of people. So definitely having the skill to be a people person and to approach people on their level and to not be judgmental of any of the different communities you work with. Because like I said, I work with a lot of very low income families. I worked in Head Start programs and drug rehab facilities, so that's kind of the community that I work with. So have an open mind, be able to meet people where they are, being a people person, and definitely organization, because doing what I do a lot of cooking presentations in front of people. And so most of the time you're cooking in your kitchen, you have access to where everything is. So to me, I have to think through every single step and everything that I'll need to accomplish that. Every single ingredient, every measuring spoon, every knife. And on top of all the information that I'm going to present. So just having a hold on all of that and being able to present, cook at the same time, problem solve if something goes wrong to make it look like nothing's going wrong, to being able to multitask and do all of that at the same time. So, yeah.
How much does your faith, you mentioned, I've, just reading up, and you have a Bible study that you're involved with, that you go and you present, cooking and stuff like that. How much does it play in what you do?
So to be honest, that was something new for me because I hadn't considered myself religious for some time. And then I got the job teaching within the Bible studies is what our Faith and Food program does. But like I mentioned before, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And it's really been a blessing for my life too, just to, I don't know if you've been in black churches, but they have, the black mamas of the church, the mothers, and, we always open and close each session with prayer. And they always pray for the instructors and pray for the food that we've created and let it be nourishing. So just being amongst positive people who are praying for you, you get a good hug from the church mothers every week. And so that part of the job, I really love. I really love it. It's been a blessing to me.
See, I have this problem, right? Well, most people got this problem of, I'm going to eat, go to the gym, work out, and lose weight. Or some people just starve themselves.
Yeah.
And for most others, I'm not sure what to do. But what would you tell somebody who practices such?
Who starves themselves?
Yeah, who starves themselves and who, eats and then go work out and come back and eat, like.
Oh, so to have balance.
Right.
Okay. So for the starving yourself part, I would just tell somebody to get more information, because there are healthier ways to not starve yourself, but it's called intermittent fasting. And that's when you only eat for certain times of the day, or eat every other day, or, keep your calories restricted to a certain amount. And that can be very healthy, not just for your physical health and what your body looks like and being able to lose weight, but for your mental health as well. Can help you stay very focused and to build your brain back, So there's some very good studies on what that can do, that some people may consider starving yourself, but there are healthier ways that you can do it. And for the people who use exercise as an excuse to eat whatever you want, you can't out-exercise a bad diet. So
you ever thought about, like,
you have to be well-rounded.
You ever because you can't be everywhere at the same time. You focused in Baltimore. You start home. You focused in Baltimore, right? You ever thought about, like, putting out, like I don't know, like a recipe, you know, some online that people can be like, yo, I like what they're listening, they're watching this, they're like, I like what she's doing, and I'm trying to, you know, I can't have you in my house. I live in Tennessee, you know, put out like. Do you have blogging, like writing up?
So that's something that I want to move into. Yeah, I kind of consider myself a micro blogger. So with my Instagram, I talk about my life. I talk about things I'm doing. I talk about things that I'm learning, things that are current for me. But yeah, I definitely have plans on expanding that into a formal blog.
How would you define a healthy lifestyle? Like just cap it for me.
So a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's integrative, right? So that means your mind, your body, and your spirit. So that means that you're feeding yourself on all of those levels. So you're doing positive things that feed your mind and your spirit. So that encompasses who you're around, who influences you, the voices that you listen to, your body, that encompasses what you're eating and the things you take into your body and the things that you try to avoid, and fitness and drinking water and all of that. So having well-rounded spirituality is definitely very important for me.
Other than nutrition, right? What is the biggest change you've made in your life that worked out best for you?
Developing a spiritual practice. Yeah. And it doesn't necessarily mean being religious, but just feeding yourself spiritually and learning about energy,
right,
and how thoughts are energy, and how your thoughts can change your life and change the world. And yeah. All
right. I'm about to ask you two very important questions, just to wrap up this segment. First, what advice do you have, for the masses? And secondly, for those who actually want to, pursue this path, to become a nutritionist or a dietitian, what advice do you have for them?
Okay, so I'll do the second one first. So if you want to pursue this path, I would definitely say become credentialed. So there are ways that you can do this with some type of certificates that you can earn online. So just, if that's going to be your lane, do your research, compare your programs, and also look at the types of jobs that you can land with those types of certifications. But for me, having a master's is definitely a plus. You're taken more seriously on paper, and you've just proved that you know what you're talking about. What was the other part? The first part?
I was so focused on
I was so focused on that second part.
Healthy lifestyle.
My advice.
Yeah.
I would get. So I've been talking about it this whole presentation, this whole recording that we're doing. Decrease the amount of meat you're eating, especially the processed meats, especially the smoked meats, the cured meats, the what else? Things that come in a can.
Is it just meat?
I feel like you're just talking to me right now.
Is it just meat though?
The lunch meat, the bacon, the
hot
things
dog.
like that. Oh yeah, you already know. See, so to cut out specifically stuff like that, is not doing your body any favors. It's not doing you any favors.
Yeah.
It's increasing your risk of a lot.
And the balance, of course, mind, body, soul, spirit.
Yeah.
Like, how can people reach your social?
Okay, so I am Nneka, the nutritionist, everywhere. That's Nneka, the nutritionist, and you can find me on Facebook, on Instagram, and on my website at nnekathenutritionist.com.
Nick, appreciate you coming through. I got to pick your brain after, because I'm serious about this getting weight joint.
Yes, well, I had so much fun here today. Y'all scared me a little bit.
How's up?
I didn't know what questions y'all were gonna go for. But
hey, now we do our digging.
Fun.
We do our digging. We prepare. Appreciate you coming through, though.
Thank you so much.
Lots of garnered a lot of information. And that's what it's about. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Man, next week,
yes, sir. Let me know.
We're gonna be sitting down with Gwendolyn Goop, a breast cancer survivor and warrior, who has also lost a child to cancer. She will be here telling us her story, and also introducing her platform.
Yeah.
Sway Shore.
Sway Shore.
Yeah, Sway
I'm like,
Shore.
yeah, I got lots of great. I'm interested in why she
Yeah.
picked that name. It's a perfect segue from this week's episode
Yeah.
talking about healthy lifestyle, foods can cause cancer and things like that. So yeah, we're gonna hear from a breast cancer survivor who's also lost a family member from cancer.
From cancer too.
Man, it's gonna be deep,
Her son.
Yeah, her
actually.
son,
Yeah,
yeah.
her son. So it's really gonna be deep.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, man. You've been watching Stuck in the Middle. You
Follow
know
us
what
on
I mean?
all social media
Yeah.
platforms, sitmpodcast.com.
Yep.
Got questions, concerns, email us.
Email us.
Stuck in the middle,
Yep.
237@gmail.com.
Yeah, go stream that Temptation, man. Go stream that Temptation by Reflex.
Yes, sir. And
Yeah,
subscribe on our YouTube channel as well, so you can stay up to date with all the awesome videos that our man behind the scenes dudes is cutting up for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Most def.
Yes, sir.
And if you get the timeline of that video, I mean the man, how
Are
you
we
call
talking
it?
about Temptation?
Yeah, Temptation. If you
We're talking
get
about Stuck in the
the
Middle.
man, hold on, man. If you get the how you call it?
The storyline.
Yeah, the storyline, man. Because it blew me. I did not know what the storyline was till earlier this week. Too recently,
Bro, you've seen that video
You
from
know
the
what I
day
mean?
we shot it.
Dude, I didn't get it, dog.
So when you got it, what
I
was?
was like, mind blowing. But anyway, super dope. But yeah, man, we stuck in the middle.
Yeah, we out.
We out.